Sensei, when was this?
I was just wondering myself.
It said it was 1988, and
88.
Archie Champion Sensei was a second degree black belt.
1988. Huh?
Boy, the movements are so much bigger than what we typically do.
Now I know why I wasn't there. It was the year I was giving birth to my son. Strange sound, Gary.
Yeah, someone's mic is distorted. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, slow down. Did you slow it down? Sometimes. It's very nice, actually.
Yeah, I can't slow it down. I'm just using YouTube.
Okay. You can slow it down on YouTube. Oh, Bram just said you can slow it down on YouTube. But let's go through it first of all, the speed that it is.
Oops.
We'll
try that later.
That's slowed down. Hmm. Mm.
Out very quickly.
Yeah, RC, I think your mic is kind of distorted for some reason.
Okay, thanks.
That's a little better.
Yeah, I say he makes much bigger use of my eye and spacing on this, moving in and out much bigger. Now they're close, of course, but
Okay.
how does my mic sound now?
Not hearing anything.
Okay, so this looks like they're just almost randomly doing things, Sensei. Is it more sort of almost a randori style with Joe? Am I
no, this is actually sansho. A lot of sansho in here. Sansho 1 and then sansho 2.
Doesn't look like the ones I've learned.
Well, not fully, but the sansho 2 was clearer. And really, he was still developing those things, those forms as well.
What I see, because it's, oh, did you do that? Oh.
That's the end of the video.
You know, we could watch it again in silence and then we could talk over it. How about that? What do you think? Or would it be better just to have everybody's faces up so we can...
No, I think that
we can talk.
Yeah, that sounds good. So I'll start it again.
Yeah. What stands out to me is how absolutely fully dynamic a movement is. or an interaction, and how absolutely still the moment is, absolutely still before they start the next movement. You don't start on, even Archie, who moves very fast all the time and responds very quickly. He knows when to be absolutely silent. You never know what's coming. Still. I've lost some of the faces of everybody, I guess.
Yeah, some of us have turned off our
Oh, I
videos.
see, because it's turned off. Okay. Makes me smile when I watch it.
The timing is really, really clear. So there's like a
I'm sorry, what did you say, Johan?
yeah, the timing on the technique. So it's so clear. There's like a attack blending, and then going for the next opening. Really, it's not like a continuous thing. It varies really. So that and it's kind of every movement is for real. So that's so good in here.
What's so interesting, because it's not a full, like a form. It's not, they aren't starting at the beginning and doing a full form. It becomes extremely reactive rather than automated.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's
So
almost,
what I noticed with Chiba Sensei's ski even is it's coming from where he's just been rather than from a static position.
mm,
So instead of going, you know, in a plane, it's sometimes actually going up, because it's reacting not to a form, but to where Archie actually is.
Uh-huh. That's interesting.
It's only a form at the very end there.
Yeah, you catch bits of the form and then you realize, oh, I don't watch the form so much as I'm watching how they're moving their bodies and interacting.
Because Archie doesn't know what's coming.
Absolutely, no, he doesn't.
yeah. So it's almost
So
like
that's
a
why it's
randori.
different. That's why it's not a form.
Mm.
It feels like they're doing around, whatever comes to mind.
Live attack.
Yeah.
Well, no, it seems to be, it's entirely dependent on the opening that's presented.
Mm.
And yet they're all the forms are forms that we learn. It's just how we put them together, or we haven't developed to this point to put them together in this way, so that you have access to them, the language, as it's needed. and not
That's nice.
in your mind as you go from the beginning to the end of a sequence. But this is a very advanced stage of working, you know, working with weapons.
But it's not a very advanced stage in his teaching of sansho, is it?
Well, he's not teaching.
I know, but I'm saying it's at that point, he wasn't, was it in 1988 already taught as a full form?
It was.
Mhm.
It was pretty much that he had it down, and maybe there were slight variations that came up, you know, I think afterwards. But this, you might say, we'd been working on for years. I love the way how they come up. Both of them do this, either Archie in his response with his ukemi, or Sensei in his attack when there's an opening. How when he cuts down with his whole body, not just arms. See how his whole body moves through the jo. And Archie has to move his whole body to get out of the way to respond.
It's nice to see that even senseis make mistakes.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Yet, but yet he keeps his poise and keeps
Oh, yeah.
having already broken Uke's balance, you know, maintains that when he resecures the jo.
Mm-hmm. Because he's responding to Archie's body movement all the time. And see, those are the endings of Sancho 1. Oh, the first part. That's another one. Any other comments from anyone?
Okay.
Because we have a surprise guest coming on.
Yeah, he's here.
He's here.
Yeah, I can
Come
see
in.
it. His name keeps popping up on the screen. So
Yeah, I see it. Come on in, Archie.
Am I in or not in? I have no
Oh,
idea.
you are in.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, wherever it may be for you.
Put your video on so we can see you.
Oh,
There he is.
Hi.
oh, okay. Oh.
Good morning.
Good morning. Some interesting comments. You guys are very, very good eyes. Very good eyes to see. Very good. You know, that's very interesting to see. You are seeing it.
Yep.
So when you were doing this, Sensei, was there any like rehearsal in advance, or did you just get there and trust God that you don't get killed?
And you know, it's very, you know, you have to remember, I'm only a knee don at this time.
Yeah.
I'm only a knee don. And so we had this regular class. He'd work with me during regular class. So we had a weapons class. That was what we did. And we did it for basically years before this became a form. We had some parts and pieces of it all together, but now it was all one thing all of a sudden. That we had to learn one thing. And he had different, and he was experimenting, so he was doing different endings and when, you know, so it was, so I, you know, the true story is we get there, I know what we're doing, and then Yamada Sensei's there, I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I go, oh, and I go up, I walk to Sensei, I tap him on the shoulder, I go, Sensei, what are we doing? And he goes, looked at me, he goes, and he gave me the look with his eyes, and I knew to get the fuck out of there.
So
So that's when I knew I had no idea what was happening.
He maybe didn't know himself at that moment.
Exactly. So I was like, uh-oh, okay, just, you know, just let go. Just don't hold on, just let go. You know, just let go.
And you did, and you know what? That's all you can do.
Yeah, just let go.
It's a wonderful example of that, Archie.
Yes,
So-
you have to let
You're
go.
a Kemi.
Yes, you have to let go.
Yeah.
You have to let go.
as I was watching this, you know, there were questions on, well, is this sansho part 1, part 2, or what? I get the sense that this wasn't a demonstration of the 1, 2, 3, 4 steps of sansho. It was it's much more dynamic.
No. See, you're confusing the form with action. You're seeing action. There's no. Right. It's not a rehearse.
There was a lot of questions on what part of sansho this was, and what I'm saying is I don't get the sense that this was any one part of it. It's completely dynamic to me. It's
yes, that's all it is. It's not. Yeah. Don't confuse the form. Once you got the form, you let the form go. Remember, let go of the form.
Mm.
Let go of that.
Actually, did explain how Sensei put this together, though, that he was working on parts that eventually were put together as sansho 1, parts 1, 2, 3, etc., etc. But here, he's got all the parts, all different parts he's putting together.
Yes.
Without it being, you know, like the sansho forms that we know, we've learned from the beginning to the end.
Well, yes, that's it.
Mm.
It's just letting it.
So, was this before? Now, we obviously we're looking at these things through as Tim did, because I'm doing the same thing Tim did, which is sansho 1, 2, 3, and clearly it's dynamic. Was this during the development of sansho 1, 2, 3? Was it early on, or were we just doing stuff?
Sansho 1 was done. We had not seen sansho 2. We had not seen sansho 3. We had seen parts of something we thought that we later knew what became those things, but at the time we were just doing exercise. Sensei was experimenting using us.
But actually, there's quite a bit of sansho 2 in this at the end.
Yeah, but remember, sansho 2. Yeah, but remember, we didn't call it sansho 2 at that time. It was just doing something.
Yes. And we went, oh my God, we've only just got sansho 1, and there's going to be possibly a 2.
Exactly. I had no idea there was a 3 coming.
Yeah, and then there was a 3.
It's kind of like watching the videos of Sensei through the years. I mean, just the development. It's very interesting because this is this actually helps explain how we got to where we are.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if whenever it is that we get back to doing Aikido again, which I hope is really soon, you know, we don't maybe try some of this. Just be a little more dynamic. Only with somebody that you really trust, obviously, but.
Oh yes. Well.
Yeah, Archie, I think you hit just the word I was thinking that what I'm admiring here is the tremendous trust between Archie and Sensei there. So that really going for it, but knowing that the skill level is there, that it's not gonna hurt you. So and that takes your Aikido totally next level. So that. But you can see it's for real. So if you don't get out of the way of those, so it's gonna hurt. So that. That's
So I think it's real because Archie Sensei can take that akemi so well and react so well. It's impressive. And Sensei, just to kind of expand on what I think you were saying about the stillness, is that I noticed that there's no attack or response to the attack till it happens. It's not like you're going through a 1, 2, 3 kata. It's I'm responding to an attack, and that's why there's a stillness, is because there's an opening, then there's an attack, and then there's a response to it without a preempted. I know what's coming next, so I'm going to make the movement.
That's why you have to be totally still when you present yourself for the moment. You have to just let everything go, be completely open, because you really don't know what that attack is going to be. So if you have any preconceived idea in your mind, you have any tension around that in your body, you're going to get hit right away. You know, you can't move in time.
Hello, everyone. This is Norman. Can you hear me?
That's
Hello.
Norman.
Norman.
Hi.
Hi, Norman.
I
Hello,
didn't
friends.
recognize you.
Good morning,
I'm in
Sensei.
disguise. It's the beard.
Yes.
I don't leave the house, so there's no reason to shave anymore.
See, you know.
Hey, hi. I have a couple of observations here. First, it's so nice to see everyone. Coral Sensei
Yeah,
and
you
Archie,
too.
are you still there?
Yes, sir. I'm still here.
Hey. The one thing is, it was not unusual for Chiba Sensei to freestyle, and for an uke, that's the best training you can get, and we should all take a lesson from Archie. One thing I'm noticing, and I've always noticed about Archie's ukemi, is that there is no ending to a technique as far as he's concerned. He's ready. He can be laying on the mat, but he's not done. He's alert. He's ready. Look right there. He's ready. He's ready. He's ready. There's no lapse or relaxation between techniques, nor should there be. So that's a ukemi lesson.
I had noticed that his focus never leaves Chiba Sensei, ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's the martial artist in him, and that's what we should all strive to do.
Yes.
Archie Sensei,
Yes, sir.
when you guys were doing this and it was being developed,
Yeah, your mic's kind of breaking up there, Archie.
Yeah, try again.
Yeah, try again. I muted you for a second. Yeah.
hello.
Try again, RC. Could you repeat
Yeah.
your question?
Oh.
Okay, go.
Hello.
Yep,
Yep.
that's it.
That's it.
No joy.
We can hear you, so keep talking. You can see us. All right. We'll move on to the next question.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Question was, how much time did you spend on footwork?
It's time.
I mean, what I'm saying is that was there any emphasis on footwork when you were doing the weapons? Obviously, there's always emphasis on footwork. I'm watching. I just spent the last sequence watching the footwork, and it's really each strike seems to come very precise locations where the feet are in a dynamic fashion.
Well, yes, but but at this time, we're probably doing the 8 count saburi every day.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're doing it I've done it every day. I've done it every day. I was doing it every day. We were doing it every day. Either Sensei was doing it with, or somebody, or Norman's class, or Coral's class, whoever had a class, sometime you were going to do that, and you better know it. And you better have been practicing it.
And that's a real foundation practice from the very beginning of Aikido, of body art. Take it right into weapons. It's all about the footwork.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It becomes natural. You don't have to think about it. It's the footwork, how you angle yourself. It's, it translates down to your feet. Your feet don't actually, really, your feet are underneath your pelvis, your hips. As the hips move, so the feet are moving, right? So that's your center of gravity, not in your feet, but it helps to make you really, really grounded.
Yes. Can I go now?
And as you say, like you were neat on here, really impressive.
Yes, I was only knee on, that's all.
I was going to say, as a need-on, I could only hope to achieve that need-on level someday in my future.
No, you're already there. You're already there. Don't worry about it. You're already there.
No, it's so amazing to watch your dynamic, Akemi. Just as Norm Sensei was saying, there's no pause. It's completely dynamic and completely live.
Yeah.
And your shoulders are relaxed. It's interesting. It's such a performance. There's so many people there, and yet it's entirely fluid.
Where did this take place? That looks like a big.
It's in Chicago, Illinois.
Okay.
It was I think 1989. They had a shihan kai, the first and only shihan kai. There was Yamada Sensei was there, Sagano Sensei was there, Kanai Sensei was there, Chiba Sensei was there, and Tohei Sensei was there, and it was in his dojo, Tohei Sensei.
Oh, well.
It was at his dojo. He was still alive.
Midwest then. It was in the Midwest.
Yes, it was in the Midwest in Chicago. Yeah. Yep. And I had a great time. It was like Peter Burnett was there, but he was Peter Burnett. Almost all the shihans that Yamada Sensei and Kanai Sensei had, they were all there, but all of us were like third and fourth dans at the time. So we got together in a corner and just had a great time throwing each other, tossing it around, and the senseis didn't bother us. We got we had a great time. I mean, long-lasting friends in that seminar. Very, very fun. It was a good time, but it was very, very intense.
Well,
for whatever.
Training with Chiba Sensei in a situation like this, you were not aware of anyone else in that room. It didn't matter how many people were in that room watching. If you listen to the sound, there are babies crying. There's, all kinds of sound going on. When you're in this situation, the two together, you don't hear anything. You're not aware of them. You're only aware for your own life. Right, Archie?
Yeah, that's 100% correct.
Yeah.
I think if you go back and you read, I know all of you have seen Shuha-ri and read it, but there's an aspect of Sensei's of that Shuha-ri is that there must be what he called mutual love and respect between student and that's what you're seeing.
Mutual love.
Mutual love.
I trust. I thought you said mucho.
No, mutual. We both, give and take. I know I'm in a dangerous situation, but I have faith that Sensei won't kill me.
And trust.
Yes, and trust. Yes, it has to be there. You have to, just go for it and trust that you're not going to get killed or maimed.
Yeah. Well, that mutual love and respect equals trust, doesn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. It's interesting concepts. Yeah. Okay.
All right, I'm ready. Who wants to meet at the dojo in a little bit?
No. You just gotta.
No kidding.
I know. Well, how much longer? When are we supposed to be able to talk? I mean, go revisit this thing at the 17th in 2 weeks, another week.
I haven't heard the dates. I've just been hunkered down.
We don't know.
Okay, and that's it's the uncertainty.
Over here in Australia, they're saying the peak of this isn't going to be for another couple months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you're in the southern hemisphere. You're just starting to pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you notice, every couple, 3 or 4 days, it seems a double or something. Every couple of days, I go, oh, it doubled again.
Yeah, it's doubling every 3 days, right?
Well,
3
look
days.
what's happening in Italy. I mean, we're behind Italy, and you know, Spain has it really, really badly right now, and it's just happening over here in the big cities, the big congregations of people where we live. So we are quite, I think, in a way, fortunate where we live. We live in relatively quiet places. All of us. You too, Norm, right? Yeah.
Norm's got it made, man.
He does.
Well, thanks, but we've got it here. There are over 100 cases in Montana and about 9 or 10 in Missoula. We've had 1 death in Montana.
Norman,
Yes.
do you remember me?
Yes. Hi, Tamara.
Hi. I was just gonna say, I used to work in Montana in Glacier National Park.
Oh yeah.
For many years in the early late 70s, early 80s.
Yep, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I missed that. Beautiful.
They closed it down yesterday along with Yellowstone, so
Oh,
yeah.
it's not open right now.
by the way, is Sarah and Daniel
Yeah, they're here.
on video? Are they still there? They still
Yeah, they
We're
are.
around.
Yeah, we had it muted.
Okay. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Yeah.
What are you
There's
thinking of this weapons? This Joe. There you are.
I think one thing, I think a lot of other people have already said it, but the rhythm is not this, metronome tick tock, tick tock. It is like everybody is saying, it's very dynamic, and I think it can only happen if people are just spontaneously responding. I also noticed that the first part of the video and the latter part of the video, they seem a little bit different in terms of that rhythm. And I was just curious as to why that may be. Like the first part seems a lot more, what's the word? Even the ma'ai and stuff like that, it's just a lot more bigger. Where
Can I suggest why? Because the thought that crossed my mind is that Archie got tired at the end, toward the end. And it changed. Is that right, Archie?
Yes, ma'am.
I thought, oh, Archie's getting tired.
No, it was that dojo was extremely hot and muggy.
Yeah.
It was extremely hot and muggy, and then there was actually hundreds of people in that building. It was hot, and it was upstairs in Chicago in the summertime. It was hot. It was hot in there.
It's okay, you can say it.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, it was extremely hot. I was tired. I was exhausted really quickly because I was not. Sensei was giving me full energy, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I had to be present, and it wears you down. You just can't. I guess you can't do it for too long. He can do it, but I can't. You just get tired from trying that intensity. Okay. Oh, I gotta take a break. Can I just stop for a second, please? Can I breathe?
Is that why there was that point where Sensei is wiping the jo? Is it possibly because it got so sweaty?
It looks like that.
Oh, it was extremely hot. It was hotter than hell in that room. Extremely hot. There was a lot of bodies, and they were kind of close. They were close. They were very close to us. Yes, they were very close to us also. And they had the lights on.
That explains the wiping. I didn't get that.
Well, again, back to what Sarah was saying too, is just the timing is just masterful, right? And that goes along with the waiting for the openings and not attacking until there's one and then responding. It's pretty educational to watch.
Yes.
Well, when we get to Actua Dojo, we have never used, and we ought to play as much of this kind of video as we can. It's very stimulating, and it's really nice to see what's gone before, what went into building what it is that, you're studying and you're at the level you're at, because nobody now is able to train as much as we used to train in those days. It was like, you know, almost every day that we're training. And, you know, so our training is slowed down because it's not every day. Sensei used to get so frustrated at the camps we had up in Berkeley with Chiba Sensei, because he introduced to the whole, you know, the bigger group, his ideas about Jo for many, many years. And every year he'd say something like, "Oh, you guys, you're not getting it." You know, it's like you're, you know, he felt like he had to start again every year to keep over and over doing this. But of course, he himself was developing this as well. We were the bodies that he was using to develop his ideas.
I remember a camp in the 90s, I think, when he got very angry. This was in England, because he asked all his senior teachers to demonstrate Sansho 1. And it was, there was a lot of, I mean, they were going for it, but there was a lot of wood sound, you know, it was just bang, bang, bang. And he got so angry, and, oh, no, they were doing Sansho 2. And he got very angry and said that nobody could do Sansho 2 anymore, have to break it down and go to Sansho 1, part 1, and not go anywhere else for the whole year. Oh. And I remember it was because it had lost this dynamism in a way, even though it was really fast and furious, but it had no reactive connection anymore. It was automated.
That's because everybody for a long time is just focusing on what should come next.
Right.
What is the movement? And here you have a chance to actually not even, that's not even almost important.
No, where's the opening, and where?
It's what happens when you let go of the form. It's what you're seeing here. But that, boy, that comes with a lot of practice, a lot of training.
For those of you who know him, I spoke to Yahe yesterday. He lives up here.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice. How's he doing?
He's doing great. He's got 2 students, sometimes 3, but he trains regularly, and I haven't been over there for a while, but I will be going as soon as I can to train with him.
Nice.
Yeah, you're a little like Tammy. It's really hard to keep your training together when you live somewhere else.
It is. It is. I found that.
And you're out in the boonies. Or there aren't people who train like you trained around to train with. That's really hard to keep your practice going in the way that you want to keep it going.
Yeah.
What's so fascinating about, and it's scary and kind of also wonderful, what's happened in the last week, even with the use of this technology, is I feel for a moment part of the dojo in Encinitas right now. But I also then have, you know, a drinks session with friends that are all over the world in the evenings, and it's like we're sitting in the living room together, but we're not.
Yeah.
But there is something in the social distancing that is socially enabling.
Bringing us back together again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have a party.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
as
a
a
great
little
shot.
public service announcement, one of the local distilleries in Vista, I read this morning, has concentrated on making hand sanitizer, and they are selling it online, and their next shipment they're sending out is Monday, and I actually bought some like a few minutes before I joined the conference call. So they do have, if anybody's in need, I could share that link, send it over to Sarah, and maybe she could pass it along to everybody if anybody needs any or is interested. So
Problem is, it just doesn't taste very good.
it doesn't have the same effect, does it?
Soap and water, soap and water.
Wow. I think this has been very interesting and a really interesting way to study.
Okay, thanks for your update.
But I went there and it was so beautiful to be in the dojo. If anybody just wants to go and meditate in there or just, you know, on your own practice weapons, or, you know, you did suggest, you know, 3 or 4 people even going in there, you can maintain a good distance. It's kind of interesting. You could practice something like this from a distance.
There's some funny footage online of pairs of people doing body art, but from a distance. So you see someone taking ikkyo, and it's exactly coordinated. It's really quite cool. Bit of a joke, but it actually is really a great way to practice.
Yeah. Well,